What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video, man. Glad to see y'all today. Not a video I thought I was gonna be making, but definitely have to talk about it because it's just such a hot topic right now. You guys seen what I posted earlier on this channel? You know, a quick little update. Lakers are doing trade negotiations recently. They have been talking with the Pacers, so we are going to talk about all of that and more. What would you guys do? What would I do if I was, Rob Pelinka and Jeanie Buss, and so on and so forth. But all right, I know a lot of people are unhappy based off of the recent rumor. But let's start off with what didn't happen this week, right? What didn't happen today, as a matter of fact. Today, we were supposed to get a press conference, a little media session with Rob Pelinka and Darvin Ham, right? Which, when it popped up on the schedule, we were all like, wait a minute. Media day is next Monday. Why the heck are they doing like a pre-media day per se, or why are they doing? It's kind of weird, right? Something fishy was going on, and so they canceled it, which is even weirder, right? It's even weirder. What's up, everybody? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Bridget? So that in itself is weird. Like, how do you schedule a press conference away from your team, right? It almost sounds like they're about to announce something really big, and then you cancel it last minute, like a day or two ahead of it actually happening, and now they rescheduled to actually do media day with the actual team, which is I believe next Monday, or this upcoming Monday, should I say? What is going on? Like, what is going on with the Lakers? This is the most confused I've been in a long time as a Laker fan, right? As a Laker fan, and matter of fact, now with these recent trade reports, these rumors, right? It's even more confusing because it's one of those things where we're hearing that the Lakers held talks with the Pacers this week, and Indiana is still hell-bent on having 2 first-round picks, right? Like, first of all, I'm split on this whole situation, right? I'm so split on the whole situation, and I will tell you why. But first, I want to find out what, the internet, what Lakers Nation is truly thinking about, potentially this trade or the trade that didn't happen or whatnot. So I'm going to share it with you guys. I put up a voting poll probably like 40 minutes ago, and here it is. So as you can see, right, as you guys can see, I said, what do we want, Lakers fam? Make the trade and get ripped off in the process potentially, or hold firm till the right deal comes along? Chime in. I said, results revealing during my live stream. So now, as you can see, and I will refresh it right here, but as you can see, right, it is overwhelmingly make the trade, screw the picks. Like, that is the what the majority of people want. Like, that's very telling of where we're at, right? Like, how much confidence we have in this front office or whatnot. We're not willing to be patient anymore, and that in itself is an issue, guys. Because what's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen if we do make that trade. There's a double side to this coin, right? A flip side, and this is why I'm split about this whole trade situation. If we make that trade and we trade Russell Westbrook and whatever filler pieces we need, plus the 2 unprotected first-round picks, which is what is rumored that the Pacers have been wanting, for Buddy Hield, a role player, a good one, but nonetheless a role player. He's nowhere near an all-star. Yes, can he shoot? Yes. Defensively, questionable, but he's a role player, no matter how you twist it and turn it and toss it or whatever. And Miles Turner, a potential 1-year rental that who's coming off of an injury. Let's say we make this trade and we offset all of our assets, right? We basically don't have no more first-round picks to trade, nothing. And at some point during the season, those player or one of those 2 players gets injured. Let's just say, for the sake of my argument, Miles Turner gets hurt, right? Now, it's a risk. Sometimes you have to gamble. Sometimes you have to roll the dice. But if he gets hurt, all of a sudden you gave up 2 unprotected first-round picks, potentially lottery picks, for a hurt player and a role player. You see how bad that looks now? All of a sudden, everybody's calling for not just Rob, but now Jeanie's head. And all of a sudden, so everything we have to do has to be well calculated. It has to almost all but guarantee a championship. 3 first-round picks and a couple of pick swaps got Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs. 2 first-round picks shouldn't, get us 2 really good role players. By the way, the reason I am split is because you plug in Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. In a perfect world, that is the perfect lineup. You get Patrick Beverley, Buddy Hield, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Miles Turner with a very solid bench, including Lonnie Walker, Kendrick Nunn, assuming we don't throw him in the package, and your whole bench. Dennis Schroeder, a good backup guard, right? So there's two sides to this coin flip, and I'm split, okay? So I would say this is my suggestion and what I think. I'm going to get to the comment section right now. But I feel like the Lakers should offer one unprotected first-round pick. Let them choose which one, either 27 or 29. And the other one should be top 14 protected, and we should sprinkle in 2 second-round picks, because you can always buy those anyways. That's what my offer would be. Take it or leave it. If they don't take it, if the Indiana Pacers get greedy and they don't take the 2 first-round picks, 1 protected, plus 2 second-round picks, then I walk into the season, unfortunately, with this roster and hope that they start off good enough to where when a team offers a trade, it won't be because they sense we're desperate. Right now, everybody's trying to rip the Lakers off because they sense desperation. They know we got too many guards. They know this team is not built to compete as is on paper. They know that, so they're taking advantage of it. Same thing with the Indiana Pacers trade. Here was the Indiana Pacers proposed deal. All right, the Lakers received Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, and Jordan Clarkson, and the Utah Jazz received Russell Westbrook, the first-round pick unprotected in the 27th and the 29th first-round unprotected. Both of those trades, no matter how you dice it up, are ripoffs, right? Even though those are good fits on this team, they're still ripoffs. You're giving up, again, another team added an extra first-round pick, and they got a superstar. And not a superstar, but an all-star, right? A consistent all-star. What do we get for 2 first-round picks? Role players. Potentially an injured one and one that's a streaky shooter. You see what I'm saying? So I commend Laker Nation because we're very passionate about it, as you can see. Very passionate about it. Look at the voting polls. I just put it up, right? And let me refresh it to see if there's any new results. Give me 1 second. Let's refresh it. I want to see if there's any new results here on the voting polls. Nope. Still overwhelmingly high, right? 52.9% out of 104 votes said, make the trade. Fuck the picks. All right. No, don't get ripped off, 23%. And then in second place, trade later, better deals. So basically what I was saying is you can make better trades down the road because there'll be better deals. Whew, I'm glad I got that off my chest. There's a lot to digest. But this is the most confusing time as a Laker fan. We don't know what direction this team is going in. When we look at the team on paper, it's too hard guard heavy. All right. And we also look at all the egos and everything. It doesn't look very good. Okay. But then you look at the trades that have been made. None of them have made me say, yes, that's the one. Just execute it. Do it. I love Miles Turner and Buddy Hield if they're healthy and if they come in firing on all cylinders, right? But I still think we have to throw in a protection on the second first-round pick. And I would rather give up 2 second-round picks. Those are very expendable. You see what I'm saying? Now, what do you guys think? I head over to the comment section and see what you guys have to say about this. But you know what? Again, I love the passion. There's no other team that's been talked about by its fans as much as us Laker fans. Some of us even got tired of the topic already. That's how much we've beaten the dead horse. Like literally, we've beaten the dead horse. We put it in reverse, ran his ass over again, and then we got off the car to make sure he's dead, and then we left. We're doing that with the Russell Westbrook trade talks, and but that just shows how passionate we are. Every time a rumor pops up, here I am, and here you guys are, all 340 of you in the live, and then the thousands that will join later on. All right, he says, should we go for DeMarcus Cousins? I don't think we need more bigs, to be honest with you. The only reason I make the exception for Miles Turner is because his fit next to AD could be scary and tremendous. But, yeah, I would say no on the guards. We need more wings. All right, at least 1 or 2 more. My boy Tron 4 says, crazy to give up 2 first-round picks, and we don't even fill our position of wing need. That is true, too. That is very true, too, and that's something I've seen out there on social media. A lot of fans are saying, and they're making a great point. Like, we're giving up 2 first-round picks, and we still don't have a wing in these trades, right? Bojan is the only potential one, but he's not really known as a defender. He's no more of a shooter, of a scorer, right? My boy Bruce Leroy says Turner's injury-prone. We got enough of those guys already. Hard pass. And that's the key right there, man. That's the key, is that if he's injured, all of a sudden you've given away 2 first-round picks. And now everybody's going to be mad, right? And this is what I mean by not making a trade for the sake of making a trade. I understand we desperately want Russell Westbrook off of the team. That's a fact, right? We desperately want this guy off the team because we want to give ourselves a chance. A lot of people already punted the season away in their minds saying, I have no hope, this, and that. Listen, we did get younger and we got a new head coach, so I'm always going to have hope, right? Call me an optimist, whatever. Positive mind thinking. I'm always going to have hope no matter what because we haven't seen the product on the court yet. I will make my assessment after preseason and tell you guys what we need. But for now, usually it takes for the first 10 games, but now we're going to be extra critical because we sucked bad last year, right? He said these first-round picks will be top 5. And that's the problem. Potentially, you're talking about trading away franchise players, the John Morants of the draft, maybe even the Luka Doncic of the draft. And we're going to be kicking ourselves in the head for a 1-year rental if it doesn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? If we're making these trades, and this is what I would do if I'm the Lakers, okay? I only make a trade if it's only one first round and the other one protected or only one first round pick. Secondly, if we go into the year with this team, we're going to try our best to start off good because then it makes it look less desperate. But if a trade comes along at any point during the season, I'm making that trade. Right? You never know. What if Damian Lillard has a change of heart midway through the season? Now you don't have your first-round picks as you gave him for a potentially injured Miles Turner and a streaky shooter and Buddy Hield. Because as good as they look on paper, 40% career three-point shooter, whatever, they come to LA as a different lights. We don't know who's going to shine here. My boy Joseph says, I like Cam Reddish. That would be a great pickup, and it would be on the cheap, so for sure. We are in win now mode. That's fine. We can be in win now mode. Doesn't mean we need to be in ripped off now mode either. That's the difference. That's the difference between team fans and player fans. Player fans will say, yeah, give it all up. My favorite player is not going to be on this team anyways in the future. Who cares? But I'm telling you right now, it's not about the future. These picks can be used later on, especially during the seasons. All kinds of things happen. What if Damian Lillard has a crazy awakening and all of a sudden he requests a trade to the Lakers specifically? You want to have those picks to be able to move them. What if a different player, right? What if Jason Tatum has a falling out with the Celtics? I mean, and I'm not saying this will happen or I'm not going to hold my breath for it, but you can't just make a trade for the sake of making a trade. And this is what I say, if the Pacers are serious about a trade, I say meet us down the middle. Yes, we'll give you both picks, but one of them has to be protected, top 14 protected, okay, at least. And we'll throw in 2 second-round picks to sweeten the pot a little bit. That's not bad. That's a win-win. They're trading away players that they don't see in their future. They're building around Tyrese Halliburton, okay? Miles Turner has been long rumored on the trade mill, so he's not a part of their future. It's not like they're trading a franchise piece. Miles Turner is really freaking good, all right, as a defensive-minded player who can sometimes space the floor. But he's no all-star, all right? He's no superstar. He's still a very good role player, and on this team, that's exactly what he's going to be. He's going to be third fiddle to LeBron and AD. So they're treating this guy like we're trading for somebody who's an all-star. All right, 2 first-round picks should at least fetch you a has-been all-star or an up-and-coming young player star, not somebody who's coming off of an injury and is on a contract year, on a 1-year rental. That is a bad trade no matter how you twist it and turn it. And I understand we are desperate. We want Russ off. But let's be objective here. Let's sit back and think about it. Worst case scenario, if the fans were at the helm, right, and we make this trade, you don't have any more draft picks to trade for the next 5 years or so. All of a sudden, LeBron, if it doesn't work out, let's just say we make the play-in tournament, get eliminated in the first year. Was that a successful year? Absolutely not. Right? What happens if one of these 2 players we trade for get injured? You gave up unprotected first-round picks for role players who are injured. That makes you look like a rookie in the front office. Immediately, the fans, I promise you, even LeBron fans will get on board with me when I say, if we make the wrong trade, they're going to want their player traded. I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron gets asked out if that happens. Right? We got to be smart. And I'm sure LeBron is on board. Listen, LeBron didn't sign here. That's the problem as well. LeBron didn't sign here just because he thought we were not going to accept trades based on the future. That's not what's happening here. The Lakers, I think, are willing to give up the first-round picks for the right pieces, right? Unprotected. But for role players, it's only fair that we put some protections on it. I mean, what did the Pacers get in return for their other star, Brogdon, for their borderline star? Not really a star, but borderline. When he's healthy, he's really good. What they get in return, man? Let's be real about it. The Laker tax is real, guys. And a lot of us fans are giving up on this team early. Now, I'll keep it real with y'all. I definitely don't like the fact that the Lakers are indecisive. I hate that. All right. An indecisive franchise, that spells trouble to me for the upcoming season. We don't know which direction we're heading in. Press conference, no press conference. Trade talks fall apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be decisive in which direction we're heading into and stick to it, because I feel like we're in limbo right now. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're stuck. We got all these guards because we probably thought we had another move up, before training camp starts, and now we're in desperation mode. We're scrambling. Hence the title of the video, Lakers Scrambling. What are we doing? Right? So I agree with the fans that are upset with the front office because we haven't had a great offseason. I graded it. Probably the last video I said this is a C- type of offseason. We haven't made a huge splash. Russell Westbrook's still on the roster, and we're guard heavy. We haven't addressed every position, right? So as a result, the Lakers they don't have a sense of direction, and the fans are in panic mode. So it's understandable. I'm not even mad at the fans. I respect and love our passion, whether we agree or disagree. We want the best for our team, right? And we might not agree on this, but like I said, I'm split on the situation. I would love Buddy Hield and Miles Turner at the right price. I'm not trying to get robbed and fleeced, right? His name is Rob Pelinka, not robbed Pelinka. So he needs to make sure he gets a fair deal for both sides if we're going to strike a deal. If not, we got to turn the page and find other ways to make this team better. Somebody in the comment section. Now I head right back to the comment section. You guys mentioned Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish might not be the savior for this team. However, Cam Reddish can give you some valuable minutes at the small forward position, and he could be somebody who can be unlocked under the right coaching situation. He could turn into your prototypical 3-and-D player. You see what I'm saying? So it might not have to be a grand slam trade, but it definitely has to make sense for everybody involved, right? We need to get a wing defensive type of guy who can score to come off the bench for LeBron. Because right now, from all the reports and everything we're hearing, Russ might come off the bench. Patrick Beverley might play some backup 3. These are not like we don't have the right stability right now in the locker room. We don't know who's reporting the truth and who's saying. For all we know, the front office could be split. These could all be accurate reports coming from different sides. You see what I mean? So I completely understand you guys' frustration. I'm frustrated as well as a fan, but I'm also excited because training camp's around the corner, right? We get the intro press conference coming up, media day coming up on Monday, I believe. So I will be here to break it down after media day, see what I heard, see what the plan is from the coaching staff. I will be taking notes, all of that, and recapping it with you guys. And then we got preseason around the corner, man, October 3rd. You guys know I'm all about dissecting the team come preseason, post game, everything. Got you guys covered. But what do you guys think of the team situation so far? Do you guys make the trade? Do you guys not make the trade? Should Rob Pelinka be fired? Like, what do you guys think? My boy said Patrick Beverley is our only move. Him and Dennis Schroeder, which both have been very confusing to me because we didn't need more guards. We needed wing depth. And we traded one of our solid wings in Stanley Johnson. So you think another trade is in the works, which I think it was. Listen, the press conference being canceled this Wednesday, today, right? The press conference that was supposed to take place, I could only imagine what they were going to say. Rob Pelinka was going to say something about the desert and ice cold bottled water they found in the middle of the Mojave Desert or something like that. Or they were going to go a different route and say they're not done making moves and they understand that, everybody's outraged, but somebody told them not to do it for some reason. Maybe it was a trade in the works. A lot of speculation on that. Maybe they know that there would have been an outrage if they came out and said Russell Westbrook is our guy and this, and that. So it's all very confusing time for us Laker fans. But as we approach training camp and preseason, we're going to get a lot more clarity. That's the only good news. He said Cam Reddish hasn't done anything in the NBA. It's all projections with him. He's not worth a first. 2 seconds is his price if we being honest. I agree, but I didn't say we were going to give up a first. What I'm saying is hopefully if they strike a deal, it would have been something, maybe a second round pick. It would have maybe one of our role players that we don't need. I don't know. It could have been something along the lines. Bottom line is he addresses a need. And it's not about has he accomplished anything, because if we're being honest, neither has Buddy Hield, right? So we're all going for need. We're going for need. We're trying to address need, which is at the wing position. We got even thinner after the Stanley Johnson trade, right? After we traded for Patrick Beverley, which is still a controversial trade, and we're going to see how it works out as the season progresses. We're rooting for it now, but I think there's a lot of us Laker fans that didn't want that trade to happen, especially if it involves Stanley, right? He said, we need is a 7-footer. We always win with 7-foot centers, and we need some wing depth as well, man. Let's not forget that. Sal says, our team is cooked, Dan. Hopefully not, because I'm going to be really frustrated if we run it back the season we had last year. I just refuse to believe we will have said season, because last year we were also old and outdated, right? We were like a carton of expired milk out there just trying to survive, you know, and it didn't work out. But hopefully the new acquisitions will make an impact. And hopefully we make a deal before the season starts. But if we don't, then we need to be patient till the right deal comes along, because if it doesn't, it is Rob Pelinka's head on a spike, man. He is definitely, listen, this is his strike too. To me, I feel like if he doesn't make the season right and get us competitive deep into the playoffs, his job will be called for, probably even by this summer. I'm dead serious, and I'm a very patient man. But I think everybody's patience starting to run out, because we did an over-calculated measure after we lost, the season after the bubble, and we started trading everybody away, and now that has come back to bite us in a place where we are now in a desperation mode, and the rest of the league can see it. The rest of the fan bases can see it as well. He said, this summer did not go good. It feels like I'll still watch every game, crossing my fingers. It's not over yet, but yeah, so far it has been underwhelming. That's a fact. Tony says, fellas, no, you can't send your top-paid player home and watch on the couch. Russ can't be bad again. He will not. Well, I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath for Russell Westbrook, but if he's bad, his career is on the line as well. So you got to hope that he buys in and does anything necessary to win. That's the only hope if he's on the roster. But I still don't believe in him until he shows me otherwise, man, after what he showed me last season. And the problem is, now you see his wife is tweeting out cryptic stuff, talking about water bottles. Like, that's the last thing we need to hear from them, right? Because it sounds like an ego problem. It sounds like if your own household can't check you as a man, if your loved ones can't tell you, hey, listen, maybe you're better off listening to the coach and tell you what you need to hear, then it's no wonder you're so oblivious to reality, man. You don't understand your surroundings and where you are at, what position you are in. And that is a big problem. And I wish him the best, just not on this Laker team. If he is on the Laker team, of course, I'm rooting for him, but I'm hoping he's not on the Laker team is what I'm trying to say. And it's one of those things, man. It's just, he's a good dude, just not on the court, right? He's not the same player anymore. He's declining, and his brain isn't catching up with his skill set, right? He needs to adapt to his new skill set. Whatever that is, he needs to find it, stick to it, and don't try to overdo it this season. Damn, what grade does Jeanie, Rob, and LeBron get this offseason? I already said it's a C-. It's a C- because we haven't made any major splash, right? Here's the thing, and I will talk about this probably tomorrow on Around the League with DTLF. The Cavs have been the biggest winners this offseason because they kept their core and they added another star player. They have made the biggest splash. They were already a good team last year, but they've made the biggest splash. Right now, the Lakers C-, and I'm being generous because you see the comment section. A lot of people are giving Fs, Ds, D+. Listen, I'm trying to be objective here, and I'm trying to save my real score till after the season starts. But if I had to answer the question now, just on paper, C-. And the only reason it's not an F, we got a new head coach and we got younger. Okay, so that should elevate you a couple of levels. But it's nowhere near where we want it to be. Nowhere near where the Laker expectation is every season, year in and year out, championship contending. Right now on paper, we look like we're going to try to make the playoffs. All right, that's what it looks like. And you should never be there as a Laker. You should be at, okay, this team will make the playoffs and we'll make some noise, hopefully win a championship. That's where we expect the team to be at every year. Obviously, we're realistic Laker fans, and we know that no team can win the championship every year. So you can't expect the championship every year, but you can at least expect to compete for titles as much as possible. I'm with DTLF C-. Yeah, that seems about fair to me. Here's the thing, though. And let me ask you guys this. If you do give up the 2 unprotected first-round picks, what do you prefer? The Laker trade with the Jazz that includes Conley, Bogdanovich, and Clarkson gives you essentially a shooter and a couple of guards, right? for our 2 first unprotected picks or the Miles Turner Buddy Hield deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one? Which one do you guys prefer? For me, I prefer the Miles Turner Buddy Hield because obviously Miles Turner is the best player in that deal potentially if he's healthy. Plus the prospect of having him and AD together would be magnificent. But at the end of the day, neither of those 2 deals are worth our 2 unprotected first round picks. If those players that are on the market were worth that, somebody would have paid the price already. That's what happens with the Lakers. Every time we want a player, another team jumps on it. So there's a reason those players are still on the market, right? The Jazz are holding out, hoping somebody overpays. Do we really want that to be our Laker team? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying here, right? So, bro, y'all can't tell me this is not better than last year. Stop it. Oh, no, for sure. We have to be better than last year because we acquired some young talent. We were thin in the front line. We got some young talent there. Obviously, Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, going to make us better. We got some veterans, right? Some Juan Toscano Anderson type player. So that's solid. We got some youth, right? Troy Brown Jr. We had Lonnie Walker. We got some more veterans with Dennis Schroeder and Patrick Beverly. So we got a nice mix, but it's still not what we need. What we need here, guys, is to trade Russell Westbrook and get the missing piece. A wing defender, or that piece that's going to move the needle. I do believe a healthy Miles Turner could help move the needle and make us one of the best teams in the West, right? But there's a big if here, and that's his health concerns. Everybody knows big men with foot injuries, especially like a fractured foot and stuff like that, sometimes take forever to heal. And the last thing we want is another Kendrick Nunn situation. If this guy re-aggravates his injury, you have given up 2 first-round unprotected picks for an injured big man on a 1-year rental. And on top of that, you're putting yourself in an even more difficult position because now you have to decide whether you want to pay the player. You might have to overpay just to keep him. And now, again, you're tying yourself down for the future, right? So that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm going to say. Patrick Beverly, not a keep trash talking. What? I don't know what you mean. He said, this team ain't doing anything, bro. We'll see. I'm not ready to put him there yet. A lot of people have given up on this team before the season even started. I've never done that in my life. I always a wait and see approach. I like to wait and let them take the floor, and we go from there, right? Dan, Miles is always hurt like Lonzo. By the way, prayers up to Lonzo. It's tough. Again, he's about to have surgery and be out to start the season, man. You listen, children, if y'all watching this video, eat your veggies, all right? If you look at his diet, has a lot to do with these injuries and his recovery rate and all that, man. But it's unfortunate. This young player has been injury prone, and I really always liked his skill set. It's just he can't stay healthy. So you hate to see the youth. You hate to see anybody getting injured, but especially the youth. He said, like the Lakers front office, I'm just going to wait out until preseason games, early season, and see how these guys play out. Another thing we can do, listen, we still have LeBron James. We still have Anthony Davis. We got some veterans. Another thing we can do is play all the way to like this, December 20th, December 25th, around there, when other contracts become eligible for trade, even some of the signings you have. Because that's around the time when teams really don't like what they have and they're willing to trade at times, right? Right now, most teams like what they have, especially unless you're the Lakers. But everybody else, like I'd say 90% of the league at this point, right before training camp, they like what they have. So it's really hard to make deals. The Jazz obviously have to make a deal because they got too many players, but it might not be with us, especially if they don't get, the highway robbery deals. So that's tough, right? That's always tough, but it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things that, I'm just as confused as you guys. I don't know what direction the Lakers are going in, but I do know we did engage with the Pacers. So that tells me, obviously, maybe the Lakers feel like they can swing a trade at the 12th hour, right? Rob Pelinka's done this before, right? In free agency, he acquired some free agents right after Kawhi signed with the Clippers. So maybe they feel like we can swing a trade at the 12th hour, and that'll be that. So that's what I'm hoping for right now, Laker Nation. What are you guys hoping for before we start the season? I'm going to let y'all take over for a little bit. My boy Jose says, DTLF, preseason is going to tell us a lot about this team need to start with wins. Yeah, I do agree. I think maybe the front office is trying to wait and see what they have in training camp, and then when they go from there, maybe they have some deals already lined up but I can't make that prediction because the front office has been very unpredictable. I'd be lying if I told you I thought we were going to acquire Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder back again, right? And now we heard the reports or rumors that Jay Crowder is available. I'm like, my goodness, man! If we get Jay Crowder to add to Dennis and Patrick Beverley, this will be the most hated players we've ever acquired on the Lakers. It's going to be bad. Somebody said they're going to be like the Expendables. He said Thomas Bryant is good enough for now. I do like TB. So I'm very high on Thomas Bryant. If he's healthy as well, because remember, he's also coming off of injuries. If he's healthy, he's going to get major minutes at the 5. I'm excited to see Austin Reeves. There's a lot of things to be excited for if you're a Laker fan. It's not like, oh, Russell Westbrook is back. All right, we're doomed automatically. You know, everything bad is going to happen. If this coach lives up to the hype, then he's going to bench Russell Westbrook, and it's going to bring me so much joy to see a man's ego get destroyed. And hopefully he humbles himself and he buys in. Because if not, like I said, his career is on the line as well. And it's hard to say it that way because these are Hall of Famers. It happened to Carmelo, though. It happened to Allen Iverson. And now you see it happening to Russell Westbrook, where they don't allow their ego to pipe down and match their game, right? And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. He said, we need Lou Williams for instant buckets. No more guards, please. No more guards, Laker Nation. That's a fact. We don't need any more guards. If it happens, it's because we're offloading some. But other than that, no more guards, please. It's funny that now that Rob, people believe there's a Laker tax, but when Jerry West was a GM, he made it happen every time we needed players. There's always been a Laker tax. And it's because of those trades that they made earlier in our history, right? Here's the thing. When we got Pau Gasol, people are acting like we fleeced the Grizzlies. We did not fleece the Grizzlies. It's just the hatred. It's the hatred that people be drinking, man, the haterade. Listen, we gave up a young prospect in Marc Gasol, future first-round picks that ended up panning out for them. We gave up, some prospects there and an expiring contract in Kwame, right? And they gave up Pau Gasol, who, by the way, even though he was an all-star, he hadn't really took his game to that next level where you could say, oh, this guy's going to help win a championship one day. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers elevated his game, right? So, of course, they're going to be mad because we won 2 championships in that during that period of time. But if you go back, it was still a fair trade. They got expiring contract. They got the cap flexibility they wanted. They get draft picks, young prospects, and they got Marc Gasol, who ended up being a multiple-time All-Star. So why are people still crying about stuff like that, right? What happened when we get the Chris Paul trade? Oh, basketball reasons, right? David Stern, God rest his soul. Basketball reasons, one of the worst things I've ever seen. The trade was agreed upon between the 2 owners of the team. That should have been a trade that went through. But because, he had his filthy hands all over the Pelican, at the time the New Orleans Hornets, the trade didn't go through. And that screwed us over because now we had to trade Lamar Odom because he was disgruntled. And, we had to do things we didn't want to do because of that failed trade. So, again, we can't sit here and act like there's not a Laker tax and there's not a lot of jealousy and hatred towards this team, because there is. Matter of fact, nobody on the mainstream will talk about how the Pacers are out of their mind for wanting 2 first-round picks for Miles Turner. Nobody will talk about how the Jazz have to make these trades because they got all these players on their roster, but they don't want to deal in good faith. Unless they're ripping us off, nobody wants to make the deal. Look at the trade we made for Russell Westbrook. Look what we gave up. We got ripped off. We've been getting ripped off. Also, when we traded Danny Green in a first-round pick for Dennis, it ended up being a ripoff because Dennis didn't play good for us. And he wasn't worth the contract. So, again, it's tough, Laker Nation. Now, I don't mean to be negative. I'm all about positivity, excited, new season. We should be excited about a lot of things, right? Younger roster, new head coach, and returning players like Austin Reeves that hopefully got better. Also, Anthony Davis potentially being healthy. And LeBron breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. We got a lot to look forward to. But the truth of the matter is nobody wants to deal in good faith with our Lakers. And we can't sit here and cry about it. We have to just man up and do what we got to do. Listen, if the Lakers can come out of the gates with a strong start, right? Maybe, like I said, go 6-4 the first 10 games, we'll be decent at least. If we can do that, all of a sudden we don't look as desperate. So if other teams want to negotiate, we got a decent team. We're happy how we are. But if you guys give us a fair deal, we will make a deal, right? At the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, that's how I feel about the whole situation. Look at what the Celtics gave up for Malcolm Brogdon. Exactly, Jose. You get it, bro. Ball Hog Sports Entertainment, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the super chat. My boy said, "What's up, Dan?" He said, "Would you go after Andrew Wiggins with our cap space next offseason since the Warriors will most likely pay Jordan Poole? If Kyrie Irving isn't available and we desperately need a wing, and he could also play some shooting guard, sure, I definitely go for an Andrew Wiggins type player because wings are very necessary. And he could be like our Trevor Ariza. He could be the modern day Trevor Ariza for the Lakers, right? Teams gave up on him early in his career because he didn't have that superstar career that I remember when he was coming out of college, I think he was Canadian, right? Did he even go to college? Yeah, he played for the Jayhawks, Kansas Jayhawks, I think. When he was coming out of college, the comparisons for Wiggins were Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady. I remember because I was sitting there like, Wiggins is going to be nice. He ain't going to be no Kobe Bryant, no Tracy McGrady, right? I myself have an eye for talent. I knew that him and Jabari Parker weren't going to be the next Carmelo and Kobe Bryant. Okay, I said they'd be good, and Wiggins did. Unfortunately, Jabari Parker, due to his injuries, was not able to sustain health, and I think he's unrestricted right now. So I wish him the best. A big fan of his at Duke. But Wiggins is a nice role player. Again, he's not a superstar, and nowadays these role players are getting paid like superstars. Look at Jalen Brunson. As nice as he is, he's not a star player. He got paid like one because of the cap, right? So, yeah, Wiggins will be available, and, assuming everybody's healthy, Wiggins will be a nice addition. Is he the top target? Depends. I got to look at that free agency list. But I do like your question, bro, and thanks for the super chat. Is it Troy Brown may flourish in the LA system, especially Ham system? I look forward to it, man. The youth is going to be nice. The youth infusion is going to allow us to get out and run and not settle so much for the half-court offense, at least in the regular season. Everybody knows postseason is a lot different. But we do have that to look forward to, all right? We do have some young bucks out here. Obviously, Lonnie Walker might be one of the better ones, along with Thomas Bryant. And I can't wait to see how much Austin Reeves has improved from last season. He was good. People forget how good Austin Reeves was last year. He had a couple of game winners. He was clamping up. He even had some block shots on Curry and Clay, during the regular season, during crucial games. The dude was a primetime baller. He was a hooper. He was a nice two-way player. That's why it is rumored that the Lakers want to play him at the small forward. Although I think that is a mistake, I do believe he can hold his own. So I look forward to seeing him. I already talked about TB a ton. Underrated players, right? Like Juan Toscano Anderson. Gonna be fun to see what he brings to the rotation, to the lineup, to the chemistry. And then you got Patrick Beverley, which is, technically our biggest acquisition this offseason, even though he's 34. If he plays up to par and he plays defense and he doesn't do all the barking, but he really plays defense to match it, it's going to be a better team already in the perimeter because of the defense, right? And then Dennis Schroeder, we bring him on. Who knows what his role is? Is he going to start? I hope not, because I like him a lot better off the bench. But he's also somebody who can get after it. You saw what he did overseas, playing this summer for his national team, right? He killed it. So let's see if that translates over to the regular season. There's been times when players from the Lakers have gone to play for the Olympics, like Lamar Odom when he played for Team USA, come back and had a 6-man of the year type of season. So that could also be good, right? So we got to look at the positives as well. It's not going to be all negative. There's going to be some positives up in there. Dan, why do you think Pelinka is such a bad GM? I think he overcorrected. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We had a championship roster in 2020, and they did too much. They didn't re-sign some players. They traded away some players. Should have kept Kuz, obviously Caruso. They should have kept KCP, guys like that were crucial to the DNA of this Lakers championship team. And they got rid of all of them one by one, and they brought in players that, instead of helping, made us worse, right? Danny Green had a better season, even though he was heavily scrutinized. He had a better season when we won that championship than Dennis Schroeder did the next year. So that was already a bad trade. Plus, we gave up a first-round pick. Let's not forget that, to the Thunder. Or just, they're the Pirates of first-round picks. They just steal they're taking all the picks, man. They own the future, basically. So congratulations to them. But let's see what they do with that. Is it Patrick Beverley, Bron, AD, the only real players I feel good about? That's it? Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully during the season, you can feel good about some different players. I don't love the team, but I like some of these role players we added. I think Lonnie Walker will surprise a lot of people. I really do. Obviously, Thomas Bryant is probably my favorite acquisition this offseason. You guys will see why. He plays with a lot of heart. If you haven't been paying attention to him, I picked him up all the time when he was healthy on my fantasy drafts because he was always helping me win money. That's how good he is. He is, the type of player that he might have a big scoring game once in a while, but really, it's what doesn't come up in the stat sheet. The hustle plays, the way he boxes out, the way he's relentless on the boards. He can come from the weak side, block a couple of shots a game, maybe. He's going to be a very solid player for us. So there's a couple players to be excited about, but hopefully you get impressed. We all want to be impressed this season. We want a good product out on the basketball court. The most important thing is we want to compete each and every night. That's something we failed to do last season. That's why we were so frustrated, and there was so much negativity around the Lakers roster. Is it Dan? Under which circumstances would you send Russ home? Let's just say he gets benched, right? He gets benched and he goes out in the post game conference and he talks about, I could have been helping my team if I was out there starting, like if we lose or something like that. That's more than enough for me. Ship his ass out of here, man. He can go back to OKC for all I care. If he does anything like that to jeopardize the chemistry of this team early, especially early in the season, that's more than enough for me, man, to give him the boot. I like Beverly, Bryant, and Toscano. I think none will be good, but I'm mostly thinking for some reason he said that they might trade him. Kendrick Nunn, potentially, you're right about that. If they end up doing the Jazz deal, maybe they can keep Nunn. Yeah, Nunn, I think, is the biggest question mark on this roster because we know when he was healthy, right, when he was with the Miami Heat, he was a bucket. And he could also play. He's very capable of playing defense. He's a nice little combo guard. He's like an extremely poor man's CJ McCollum, right? Not as good with the scoring, but a little bit better on the defensive end. But he's very solid, right? He can slash a little bit, pull up, hit a three, face up a little bit, maybe create for his teammates here and there. So he's very solid when healthy. But that, again, biggest question mark is because we don't know if he's been injured for so long, if he's even going to come back at half the speed he was at. We don't know if he's going to have his legs under him. He's going to be rusty. None of that. But hopefully we start finding out some of this during preseason, right? And can he sustain consistency? Because I think the biggest thing for our guards this year is going to be being consistent. The last thing we want is, Dennis Schroeder dropped 20 points off the bench one game and then a bunch of bagels the next couple of games. Or, Patrick Beverly locks up one game and then the next couple of games he gets in foul trouble or he gets cooked defensively. Or he lets his mouth get him in trouble. We want consistency from our guards. We want Lonnie Walker, all these guys to give us consistency as much as possible. Obviously, it's a long season. There's going to be shooting slumps. There's going to be all kinds of things, right? All kinds of obstacles. But the fact is that we have so many guards that coach is going to have different options, so they better play up to par. If not, you get replaced next man up. My boy Jabari Wilson says, hey, Dan, do you feel better? Hello. He said, do you feel better, same, or worse on chances that the Lakers trade Westbrook prior to training camp? I was feeling like there was no hope after the recent reports, but the fact that they were going to do a press conference and then canceled it makes me feel that there might be a slim chance, like outside, like a puncher's chance, right? It gave me a little bit of hope. Like, why would they do that? What don't we know? What's going on behind closed doors, right? He said Jeanie needs to sell. She is not Dr. Buss. You weren't saying this in 2020 when we won the championship, so I don't want to hear that now. It's 2 years removed from a championship. A lot of franchises or Clippers never get to see a championship, and we already got to see one under her helm. So just keep that same energy when we start winning again. I want to hear the same thing when we win because I find it funny how some fans will be very critical when we're struggling, but as soon as we start winning, they magically disappear. Bunch of Harry Houdinis in the chat. They just start poof. They just magically gone. So keep that same energy, man, because I know Jeanie will make us rise to the top again. And when she does, I don't want to hear none of this crap, man. None of it. He said, what? This is the Lakers. Is champs or bust? Yes, of course it's champs or bust. But let's be real. Before Jeanie Buss took over, we had 8 years or 7.5 or something like that of no championships, of no postseason play. So give her a little bit of a chance, man. At least give her 5 years to prove herself. If in those 5 years all she has is one championship and a bunch of missed playoffs, then maybe we can have that conversation. But it's been, it's been one of those things. It's been one of those things, man, where we haven't seen a big enough sample size to say what type of owner she is. I think she's great, though. She already delivered a championship. Isn't that what the goal is? Isn't that the ultimate goal? I mean, she's done everything LeBron has wanted. LeBron wanted AD, we got AD. We mortgaged our future. LeBron wanted Russell Westbrook, we got Russell Westbrook. So, you know, he said, Dan, love your collaboration with Trevor Lane and Laker Nation. You can hold your own with Trevor. Hey, man, I appreciate it. It's always a blast when either they come through or I have been over there. So hopefully we'll have some more in the future. But that was truly a one-of-a-kind experience, man. Thanks for the support, bro. Said Jeanie is smart and intelligent woman. I don't understand. Listen, the hatred is coming off of people that are saying, do what I want and do it now or get removed. It's like, that's kind of a spoiled train of thought, right? At the end of the day, we're fans, passionate, diehard fans, but you don't want to be in that chair with all that pressure. You know what I mean? Sit in that chair with that pressure. Well, I would personally, I would welcome it, you know, because I'm the type of person that loves pressure. But a lot of fans don't even know what that comes with. Like, it truly comes with a lot of pressure. Two years removed from a championship and people calling for your head already. Think about that. Now, I understand that most of those are player fans. They're not real Laker fans. Laker fans understand the dynasty and the legacy and how much they know her history. They know how much she cares. You know, some owners don't even care about winning. They just want to sell tickets. That's not who Jeanie Buss is. She knows, right? So, but, and I do respect the fact that she kept, even though ESPN criticized us and all of that, she kept her word. And she fired Frank Vogel after that horrific season. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that it's not easy to do. And I appreciate what she's done thus far, but I hope that she can bring more because I know that it comes with a lot of pressure. She knows that too, right? And so if in the next couple of years we don't start winning immediately, then people, those chants will get louder about her selling the team. And I'm rooting for her, man. How could you not? How could you not? She's out here making history. So Brody says, what did Michael Beasley do to get blackballed? There's no 6'8" wing out there better than he is, including Bojan. It's not just about scoring, bro. See, the thing about Michael Beasley, he never had problems getting buckets. But we're talking about a dude that was so much more focused on his side stuff. You know, I don't want to say anything, but his side hobbies. I mean, he once came in the game with his pants still on. That doesn't tell you how much he lacks focus. I don't know what does, and that's always been the problem with him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he had all the talent in the world. I saw him play in college. I saw him when he got drafted to the Heat. He had all the talent in the world, but he can never stay focused, and that's the unfortunate thing about some athletes. It reminds me of like a Johnny Manziel. This dude killed it in college, went to the NFL, nothing but partying, right? So you got to make sure you have your priorities in order. You got to make sure you take care of business. You attend practice, you get better, because guess what? This is a limited league. 1 in a million probably make these professional sport leagues. And I'm talking about a million athletes I'm not talking about regular people, millions of athletes that are trying to make these leagues. And when you have that golden opportunity, you have to seize it, man, because if not, somebody else will take your job. And that's what happened with Johnny Manziel, what happened with Michael Beasley. It's happened with so many, supreme athletes that were great in college. Now, Michael Beasley, I remember that season he went to Minnesota. That was probably his best season. He was averaging over 18 points per game. He was killing it. So scoring's never been his problem. However, playing for a winner like the Lakers, you got to be focused. Your head always has to be on a swivel, and you have to make sure you show up night in and night out. You know, it's one of those things, man. So would I trade Rob for Masai Ujiri? Yes. Masai Ujiri is proven, man. And he's done this even before. I think he was with the Denver Nuggets before, right? As an assistant to the GM or something like that. So this dude has called draft picks. He has done so much, and he has delivered a championship to Toronto. So he's the real deal. Yeah, he's definitely somebody I would make an exception for and say, if he became available, I'm sorry, Rob Pelinka, but yeah, we gotta move in a better direction. He said mental illness is no joke, brother. I know, and I'm not talking about his mental illness here, man. Listen, I'm talking about all the other stuff, all the other distractions early when he came into the NBA. Go look up all the stories and everything he's had. I wish him the best. I used to love Michael Beasley. However, it's really hard, and especially when you're playing for the Lakers. Bright spotlight, the limelight is not kind to you. So it's gonna, underline your mistakes. That's just the way it goes. He said Russell Westbrook is getting traded this week. You think so, Joseph? I hope so, man. I pray to God that happens, bro, because it's gonna make my year if that happens. Like, we need something like that. You know? He said no Michael Beasley slander will be tolerated. Nobody's slandering Michael Beasley, man. Chill out, Max. Nobody has slandered him. He said Russ is a good guy on a wrong team. What does that mean? Like, translate that to me. Here's the real question: can Russ ever be a good guy on a championship team? Because if that's the case, then I would apologize to him. But I'm not sure if that's the case. I really don't. I'm not. He said, Dan, would you give Nunn and a second for Reddish? Kendrick Nunn and a second for Reddish. Yeah, I think I would. Although I think Kendrick Nunn is more than enough, because Kendrick Nunn is a very good player, and if he comes out here hooping, you might think we lost that trade. You know, so I think Kendrick Nunn will be more than enough. But if it takes a second round pick to get that wing player that we desperately are so thin in the front depth for, yes, I do it for sure. Jeanie Buss is damn near 60, could be going through the change. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys. Let's stop it. Stop it with the Jeanie Buss slander. Listen, at the end of the day, she delivered a championship in the last 3 years. Okay. That's a pretty good winning percentage, no matter how you chop it up. There's 30 teams in the NBA, only one wins every year. So the odds are slim. You know, they're never in your favor when it comes to competing for titles. She's already accomplished what a lot of owners never will. He said, Dan, Beasley said his cousin died during the pants incident. Oh, I didn't know that. My bad. I did not know that. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. And again, it's not to rag Michael Beasley. I was just answering the question. You know, the question is, I don't think he's capable of being a winning basketball player on a winning team. He might be good for, like I said, scoring points, you know, but unfortunately, like, he proved it through his career already since he got drafted on Miami. You know, his game is not a winning type of game. It's almost like a stat padding type of game. If you want to sell tickets, you want to get yourself a decent athlete who can put the ball in the hole, I think Michael Beasley will be that guy. Is it Thunder loved Russ and sold a lot of tickets? That is true. And listen, do not discount the fact that if we start the season and, again, the whole situation with Russell Westbrook happens, maybe they'll take him, you know? Maybe they will take him. Maybe they will say, hey, you know, we'll take Russell Westbrook and we'll give him the send-off he deserves. Maybe. Just the outside chance. But he said Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley trade. Again, we're not looking for more guards here. We're not looking for more guards. That's for sure. You know? Hey, what's up, Laker lady? What's up, Tara? How you doing? Jordan Clarkson is a great player, and I'd love to have him, but we have so many guards. We got 6 of them. If you count Austin Reeves as a guard, we have 6. He said, if you say get rid of Jeanie, you haven't watched Legacy or Winning Time. They can say get rid of Jeanie all they want, but she's going to own the team for years to come. I mean, you know, she's still in a good age, and they want to win. The Buss family has always wanted to win. We know that. Diehards know that. He said, Dan, do you play fantasy? Who would you take, Halliburton or Fox? Ooh, that's a tough one, man. They're both good players. I'll have to look more in depth on that, man. But I'd probably go with De'Aaron Fox. Although Halliburton is an up and comer as well, so you can't go wrong with him. But De'Aaron Fox, he's about to have a big year. I feel it, man. He's had a bad coach the last couple of years. He's had Luke Walton. If they get him the right coach, then he's about to go off. And I hope that this new coach is able to utilize him to the max of his ability, because he's a very good player, especially when when he's going downstream, man. This guy. He said, DeMarcus Cousins for the final roster spot. What do you think? I say leave that roster spot open and see who comes to play in training camp. That's what I say about that whole situation. That's what I say. Yeah, this guy is a troll. He's getting blocked. He said, Dan, don't you think Jeanie is a good owner but too nice? I do think at times she can be too nice, especially when she gets attached. Like, I don't like the fact that her friends get that involved. Like, Kurt Rambis, great guy. Linda Rambis, great people. They seem like great people, nice people, but they shouldn't be that involved in basketball decisions, in my opinion. It's just my opinion from the outside looking in. I could be wrong. Maybe they're good basketball minds. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, yeah, in that sense, I can see why some people label her too nice. Also, letting Frank Vogel finish out the season, that was really nice of her because he could have got fired after the first 2 months, the way he coached last year. And people say, cut him some slack. He won a championship. Listen, he wasn't the main factor. He was decent during the championship run, but there was still a lot of questionable decisions he made along the way. And luckily, he had a good coaching staff with him. What do you think about Seattle and Las Vegas looking into acquiring a basketball team? I think it's going to happen, Elijah. It's going to happen. I've talked about it here before on Around the League Thursdays, but I think it's going to happen. Eventually, I think Seattle and Las Vegas will have teams for sure. And it could be a good thing. I think Seattle definitely deserves one. Vegas maybe as well. Who knows? I mean, they got a big market over there. They just acquired the Raiders not too long ago. So I'm sure they're going to sell out tickets and stuff like that. Will they be faithful to their fan base? I don't know, because a lot of Vegas people, you know who you are diehard Lakers fans. So maybe they don't even want a new team. So again, a lot of question marks there. But I know Seattle for sure deserves one, and I was hoping they took the Clippers. I really was. He said, Dan, Clutch is making the Lakers a team. Now stars want to no star wants to play for. Did you say now or no? I'm not sure what you meant right there. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's Clutch. It could be Clutch. It could be the recruitment. Obviously, Rich Paul and them boys ain't doing their thing. But yeah, I don't know exactly what the appeal is. Obviously, there's a lot of appeal here, but I don't know specifically what you mean about that. He said Canelo's fight versus Triple G was very underwhelming. Everybody wants to see the knockout, man. The technical points and all this. At times, this is why I love UFC a little bit more, because it's a lot more exciting. Most fights finish in either knockouts or TKOs, right? Or they tap out. Versus boxing, you got to be a real fan of boxing to understand the little technicalities, the way they score, all of that stuff. So it's a little bit different. If you don't have patience, boxing is probably not for you. He said, "What's good, Dan? Do you like who? Kupchak? Are we talking about Mitch? I hated the way he became the puppet for Jeanie Buss. I'll say that. I hated that. I respected him before that, but after that, I don't know. Sarver did the unthinkable, and y'all telling Jeanie to step down just because of a trade? LMAO, y'all weird. That is fact. And by the way, congratulations. The NBA did the right thing by forcing Robert Sarver to sell. I'm sure there was a lot of meetings had behind closed doors telling them, hey, it's within your best interest. And not only did he sell the Suns, not only is he about to sell the Suns, but he's about to sell the Mercury. So that's a major dub for the NBA right there. Round of applause, man. Make sure y'all smack the like button for that one. But yes, I absolutely love the fact that he's going to be out, because, man, these racist pricks, man, they got to be out of the NBA. This is not the old days. We're in 2022. Y'all got to get with the program or get lost. Okay, it's all about diversity. That's what sports is all about, and that's why I love it so much. Everybody's supposed to come together, and whether you love my team or hate my team, you got to respect everybody's ethnicity and the work they put in. And Robert Sarver is stuck in the past, and he's ignorant, and that's the reason he will no longer have an NBA team. So again, round of applause for the NBA for doing the right thing. I just wish that Commissioner Adam Silver would have came out and spoke against it instead of just kind of glossing over it. That's the only thing I regret that the NBA didn't do. He said, I love the Pacers trade. What do you think, bro? I would love it. I would love the Pacers trade if they could include some sort of a pick protection on that, right? At least on the second one. And even if we include a second-round pick or two to sweeten the pot, I do that. But here's, again, if you didn't watch the video, if you're just tuning in, the reason why I don't love that Pacers trade is because of Miles Turner, the injury from last year lingers and heads into this one. Now you're talking about you gave up your future, 2 unprotected first-round picks, and time flies by quick. So everybody's going to look back, and this could be potentially top as the worst trade of all time if it doesn't pan out with Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Why? Because Miles Turner's not worth a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks unprotected, especially. Buddy Hield damn sure ain't worth a whole first-round pick unprotected. maybe a top protected one. But what has he done in his career outside of, be a streaky shooter throughout his life? What has he done? Shooting 40% for the losing Kings is impressive to me. That was on high volume shots. That was on a big clip. He's not going to have the same amount of shots, but he's going to have to get hot with less rate of shots for the Lakers for it to work. Can he do it? Potentially. I'm not saying it won't work. I would love the trade if we get a fair deal, but I hate what they're asking for it because Miles Turner's coming off of an injury. And that's the bottom line. And he's on an expiring contract, which means he could potentially be a 1-year rental. You see what I mean? So you don't want to dig yourself out of a hole for 1 year to dig yourself into a hole, right? We could be looking back. Imagine those picks end up being franchise-changing top 3 picks, both of them. And now you're looking at the Lakers like, whoa, not only does Rob Pelinka need to step down, but everybody needs to be wiped clean after that deal. He said, I'd agree with you, but we have to win now. Bron is gone in 2 years. And that's just the thing, Nick. I agree we have to win now. But like I said, you're trading for a player that's coming off of an injury. I'll be honest with you. Based on our team, I'm almost preferring the Utah Jazz trade rather than this one. Of course, I don't want to give up 2 first-round picks. But I'm saying you're getting a wing and you're getting a couple guards off the bench. And we already have some bigs there in the paint. So I almost prefer that one. Other than the fact that the prospect of Miles Turner with Anthony Davis and LeBron in the front court could be very scary if it works out, if he's healthy. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's a lot of question marks, and it's very easy to say, yes, we're in win-now mode, give up the farm, but then what happens? An injury can ruin our whole season, and you gave up the farm. Now you have no future. Now LeBron is asking it for a trade. Now you have to oblige probably, and now you got to start from scratch because you made a horrible decision. We almost were there last season with Russell Westbrook. Luckily, his contract comes off the books after this year. So that's the only upside to the whole Russell Westbrook situation. But imagine he had a couple years left on his contract. That would be a no-go for me. He said, what's good, Dan? He said, go like the former GM Mitch Kupchak or Rob Pelinka. Mitch, the upside with Mitch is that he was trained under Jerry West. So he learned a lot of good things. He's a very intelligent man. Unfortunately for him, when Jim Buss took over, he didn't allow him to do the job. He basically was the puppet. He was the fall man. So I don't have a lot of negative things to say about Mitch. More so Jim Buss, who really is a horse race track professional. Should have never taken over this team, right? It's only because he was the son. And I'm not even sure if he really cared about winning, because all those years we were just tanking, and we never made the postseason under his, stewardship. So it's just one of those things, man, where the proof is in the pudding, right? Mitch Kupchak on the Jim Buss, they didn't do nothing. Jeanie Buss, she hires the right people, they get the right players, they land LeBron, they do the big things. Give her credit. Don't just take credit away. I'm all for criticism, but give her credit. We've already won a championship under Jeanie when we couldn't even make the playoffs under Jim. I'd say it's a huge difference, right? What do you guys think? Hey, Dan, when does training camp start? I think it starts on the 26th of this month. If I'm not mistaken, somebody fact check that, but I do believe it is on September 26th, media day, and then, training camp 27 and so on and so forth. They're saying Jeff Bezos is interested in buying the Phoenix Suns. The luxury tax won't be nothing to him. Oh my goodness. If that happens, now we got another problem on our hands, because that's 2 rich men, paying the officials, getting in people's back pockets, just like Ballmer is doing. So yeah, that would be a problem, Tara, for sure. I would not like that at all. That would be devastating as a Laker fan. But the Phoenix Suns fans, I'm sure they'd love it. This man would be willing to pay a lot of things to get players over there. I'm sure he would give them some under the table money as well. What's up, Brianna? What's up? The Utah trade over the Indiana trade. That's what I'm saying. Like, Utah trade actually addresses more needs, to be honest with you. Call me crazy, and we'd probably have to give up less as well. Hey, appreciate you, Mr. Incredible. Thanks for tuning in. On that note, I'm about to log off as well, man. Thank you guys for tapping in. We already went over the hour. I usually go up to like 50 minutes to make it more watchable for people that, don't have patience to listen to everything. But thank you guys so much, man, for tuning in. Just really quick, want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Prize Picks. You guys see the promo code up on the screen, man. You guys know the deal. Let's see what happens again, because as we get closer to training camp, I think that the truth is starting to reveal itself. The Lakers still weren't settled on his roster. If not, they probably would have had the press conference today on Wednesday, and that got canceled. So maybe they are looking for a back door to walk in through this season, right? When nobody expects it, we make a trade and we look different. So let's hope for the best. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that post noti bell just in case anything breaks. You guys know where to find me. So I'll see you guys real soon. Have a great rest of your day, Laker Nation. Much love.